big boy.
What's up, folks? Welcome back to the stream. We are live with the first game of the T5S2 Season 7 Invitational Semifinals.
We're up to date. It's Steve.
And this is a great civil war between enormous wraithbone constructs of war. This should be a good one. And the players actually got going right away here. Literally just made the roll-off to go first. So we will jump right into this game. Over here in the red, we have Prospero with his Wraithknight, hiding his units like cowards behind this line of sight blocking piece of terrain. Versus over here in the blue, we have Lord Solar, aka Redwords, playing his Revenant Titan that he was able to squeak by a skin of his teeth qualification, a skin of his Wraithbone qualification out of the round of 8. To make it into this game. And we'll see if he's going to be able to match up against the Wraithknight today. Welcome, everybody, to the stream. Thanks, everyone, for coming and hanging out. I think we're going to have a bit of a spicy and flashy game here today, so excited to see how that goes. I do want to throw a quick shout-out to our sponsors before we get too far in. Delta Studios. They are the purveyors of all manner of super cool life-size props for a wide variety of sci-fi universes, most notably Warhammer 40k, but also things like Halo and Deep Rock Galactic, which is cool. But you could get life-size bolt pistols, chainswords, stuff like that over there. If you use coupon code TACTICAL10, you get 10% off, so that's pretty sweet. Gamemat.eu, you can get 10% off over there using coupon code TT10. They make mats, 3D, resin terrain, pre-painted. It's gorgeous, it's durable, it looks great. So check them out at Gamemat.eu. The Magnet Baron, you can find at themagnetbaron.com, which make all sorts of magnets. You can get rare earth neodymium magnets, magnet accessories, things like movement trays, and flight stands, and also kits for Warhammer 40k model kits, where you can get the correct magnets to magnetize them out. And last but certainly not least, 3D6 Wargaming, who make our cool objective mats here. Looks like we are exactly positioning the Revenant Titan right now with a turn 1 assault move to get solid line of sight. Looks like we might be seeing an Overwatch here. I'm going to go kick it back to the players.
I'll roll one of these to wound. I'll reroll.
You can't reroll in Overwatch.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we failed either way. And then we'll use the Farseer to shoot this into a 6.
Mm-hmm.
We will drop 5 mortal wounds.
So it looks like we got an Overwatch from the Wraithknight into the Revenant Titan. Kicked it for one auto 6 to hit. Pushed 5 mortal wounds through Steve the Useless over here, the Revenant Titan. Now, for those who haven't seen these guys in the previous games that Lord Solar played, the Revenant Titan profile is actually pretty nuts. But so thus far, in all of the games that we have watched, it has died almost immediately. And Lord Solar has had to play from the back foot there. Fortunately for him, Eldar is a good faction to play from that back foot. And we'll see if he's going to be able to do the same thing this game. We're looking at a T13, 2+ base save, 4+ invulnerable save, 30 wound profile with these 2 Sonic Lances. These guys firing anti-vehicle, anti-monster 4+ multi-damage shots. The problem is the Wraithknight on the other side of the table has incredibly strong defensive characteristics, high save characteristics, plus damage reduction on its card. So it's actually going to be, despite the fact that it's significantly cheaper than the Revenant Titan, for the Revenant Titan specifically, which has those 2 damage guns, it is actually going to be significantly or equivalently hard to kill because of that damage reduction. But we also saw a little bit of a spicy shakeup in Lord Solar's list for the semifinals game. He did swap out a bunch of his... He had a Wraithguard unit in this slot here. He swapped that out for the Avatar of Cain. This is Chris. Welcome, meet Chris, the Avatar of Cain. And it looks like he basically has just deployed his army on the line. Is pushing forward as aggressively as possible to try to basically pin Zach's army into his deployment zone and making it as difficult as possible to extricate itself. And even if it does, hopefully the waiting Eldar Shadow Specters will be able to counterpunch.
That's 5 wounds from the first batch that I roll. Do you want to roll your invuln?
Yeah. Did we cover whether we go through the wound roll save roll at the same time or not? I remember asking the question of Trevi too.
I don't know. I don't know how
What's the
Trevor does
question?
it.
Do you
Can I
do
sort of-
all wound rolls and then saves, or do you do some wounds then saves, then some wounds again then saves?
The player who the fast dicing isn't required, so if you want to slow dice it, then you can, and then the attacks would be worked out sequentially.
Okay, well,
if that's the question.
For the sake of this, yeah. I think let's do this. This is technically, I think, not a foul out for fast dice, but is infinitely more convenient. So let's just keep doing this if you're okay with that. Because I think technically we'd have to roll each one fully through the sequence one at a time, but
I mean,
that's
I'm
horrible.
happy to roll each one for a sequence.
Nah, let's just do this. I mean, it's functionally the same thing, right? It just saves time.
So
making saves.
so non-random damage attacks can be fast dice and manipulated after the fact.
The thing is, I don't want the fast dice because it's sort of like if he's living on 2 wounds and I've got 1 left, then I want to know if I want to reroll that or save the reroll for the glance.
Gotcha. Yeah. So you want him to roll saves sequentially.
Yeah, basically, and then I'll slow
Okay.
roll the wound rolls. Basically, I'm just fast rolling a batch of wound rolls and then slow rolling the last few.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fine.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, so some saves. Takes 2. Two so far.
Okay. 1 more wound.
The joys of dice
Now
manipulation.
4
1 more wound.
and dead. Does it demise? No. This was the one further away, right?
Yeah, the further away one.
So picking up a couple Void Weavers with the anti-vehicle gunshots on the Revenant Titan. This might be the most damage that we see out of this Revenant Titan, all for the entirety of the Invitational. It is 1,100 points, so killing 2 100-point Void Weavers doesn't feel that great for Lord Solar, but it is still some damage. And the hope is that his remaining units can sort of follow up. We'll see if the Wraithknight allows that. This guy has been, or Prospero has been able to use this thing
And I think
the absolute maximum of its ability over the course of the weekend. Very acute gameplay with the Titan. Ooh, didn't kill the second Void Weaver though. That's unfortunate. Those little guys can pack quite a punch. They do have a very solid anti-tank profile, and they can also disperse their gunshot into a blast profile if they need to as well. Going to be useful in the late game once we're worried about those Shadow Specters popping up and being obnoxious. The other thing we have to keep in mind right now is that Lord Solar has pulled behind, no prisoners this game.
I mean, he's not in it, but like, I'm thinking for next turn. Do I just
for next turn.
He did pull behind enemy lines, so a little bit of an awkward draw there on the first turn, electing not to bin it for command points, which is interesting.
I will draw 2 of these guys. Cleanse and extend battle lines. Well, cleanse is a bit of a hard one, but extend battle lines we could do. There's always an interesting temptation to, see where one wants to overwatch. Yeah. I will.
So the Overwatch danger out of the Revenant Titan is pretty disastrous right now. Obviously, this big dude has 2 flamers.
Success.
So any aggressive move out of these Night Spinners or Void Weavers could just see a 1 CP to kill them.
Doesn't really matter on the Wraithknight. Yeah, we'll drop it on the beginning turn. Success. Super success. All right, so we're looking at Fortune, which doesn't really have a good one, but I'll just do this one. Fortune and Guide. Don't know. This one, it's rerolls. All right.
So the question for the dice manipulation in their chat was Lord Solar wants to save Fate dice manipulation until the end of the attack sequence so that you can use your Fate dice most efficiently. So he would he wants to know the result of every attack before passing it to his opponent, which would require him to slow dice it. in this case, just like fast dicing through most of the dice rolls with the assumption that those will not get manipulated, and then slow dicing the last 2 or 3 and rolling wounds and saving throws one at a time would allow him then to use the fate dice at the end of the sequence if he wants to. So, for example, if your opponent's down to just a couple wounds, you can just use a fate dice to confirm that you do automatically wound one of the last ones. But because, going through the full sequence, you wouldn't entirely know that beforehand. That gives you the most information. But they basically were asking if they could fast dice the first couple of rolls as long as it didn't get slow dice. As long as they didn't get manipulated after the fact. And then slow dice the last couple to give Lord Solar more information. And the answer is it doesn't really change anything. So that seems fine.
Maximum, which they're not going to need. So it's basically going to be back here.
I don't believe that this objective actually sticks to the wall.
Change this thing, I think, if I can touch it. Toggle 2? Nope. 3.
Yeah.
This read doesn't extend through the thing. Is that right?
Cool. So my ranges are not on that objective then. My one wouldn't let me change it. So if that's extended, then they're not on it.
Click like really precisely. I don't know why, but it's really tough.
I mean, that looks intentional. So yep. You want to step out into the open?
Yeah.
Give me a sec, because I might overwatch.
Sounds good.
So those warp spiders could secure cleanse for Zach right now. So nice overwatch there. Would potentially remove that secondary from his deck permanently here.
Okay, that's fine. Actually, they have mortals.
And then 24 means they're going to be landed back out here.
Actually, I am going to overwatch them.
Overwatch way.
All right. Big Overwatch. So this isn't a super valuable unit to Overwatch. They do cost as much as a Void Weaver, which is a little bit funny to think about. But should just wipe these guys real quick.
13 AP freeze.
Oh. They die.
So.
I guess before I remove them,
can stop and start slow rolling anytime. Yeah, that's basically what they're asking to do, chat. They're gonna fast roll like the first 60% of the dice, and then slow roll all the other ones so that they can do the manipulation on those ones. Because the first 60% should make a huge difference. Ooh, Incarn teleporting now. Here they come. Jumping up to retain control of that objective, but that is aggressive. Unfortunately for
that guy.
Lord Solar, he doesn't really have anything to follow up on that. I think the Avatar of Kane is the only thing that's really capable of defeating the Incarn in a one-on-one battle. And the Incarn itself can cleanse. So good play from Prospero. It just shows you the real flexibility of the Incarn, having the Incarn in your list. It means that you're not actually that worried about losing units because you can retain control of objective markers. And if your opponent doesn't have very specific tools to deal with the Incarn, a lot of times it just doesn't take any damage from stuff. That is not a target that the Revenant Titan wants to shoot at in the future, because any damage reduction effects really affect it disproportionately. Nurgle Matt's in chat. What's up, my dude?
Let's try and get something over there, I think.
Wraithknight trying to maneuver around. A little funny here that both of these Titans are basically not going to get any use out of Phantasm this game because they're both so good at seeing each other. You can't really hide from the other Titan. But the Wraithknight's big heavy D cannons here are going to be a lot more dangerous to the Revenant than the vice versa.
5 inches, I guess.
So I wouldn't be shocked if the Revenant actually just goes down right here to the D cannons and the Wraith cannons and the D cannon weapon platform.
Okay, if that works. We'll do a quick test.
But we could then potentially put the Avatar into the heart of this gun line over here.
That is the first I can twist that ball.
Looks like a no, he can't sneak through. He starts skipping.
He's just going around this way, which is a path, just a slower one.
Yeah.
But I think we're fine with standing.
We did update the colliders on these ruins very recently. 100mm bases are able to go through those very easily. But getting around the middle is a little bit tougher for sure. at least through that avenue.
then
You could get a 60mm base through there, but the larger
we've got
bases
some
have a tough time.
voids who are not super long for the world. Let's see. They want to get moving. We're looking at a void going out 6 to here, 7, 8, 9 to here.
Yeah, I think that is
I've
an
got
80mm base,
5
chat,
inches left.
because it has extra space to go through the side here.
And right here.
But that gap is very small. That
That
gap's
screens
only
up to
about
there.
3 inches, 2.5 inches almost. It's super tiny.
That seems fine. And then we can advance an autarch. You can go 16 inches. 16 right here.
This is really going to be the the fight of these lone operative characters. Between both players having autarchs,
We can move another void.
Farseer, Foot Farseers, Phoenix Gem Farseers, Death Jesters. And very little way to interact with each other's.
Make sure we have line of sight through here. I got that line drawn.
So the awkward part about
Why is that
overwatching
thing
that
so
early
thick?
in the
Oh my God.
in the movement phase there is that it does
Right
make
there.
it so that the Revenant Titan can't overwatch any of these small characters as they're moving.
Yeah. So actually, no, we'll just drop this guy back to here. So draw line of sight. Doesn't really matter for him much.
This Void Weaver is very aggressive.
This void, I think, will probably
Assuming
do
this
a
guy,
very similar
assuming
deal.
Steve survives here, I imagine we charge that and blow it up.
And I guess I will move this out to where the incarnate is. Come out over here.
No CP to Phantasm it, but we could potentially Phantasm
Similar
the
line.
Avatar, I think is going to be probably the game plan.
24
There might be a
harder
position
for
if you
him.
get around this corner to get right here, 7 inches, where I don't
Good.
believe anything can see you. Oh my
This
god.
one part here feels a little odd.
Excuse
but,
me,
yeah,
building.
We'll throw some
I'm
shots
trying
in.
to try line of sight. Yeah, I don't know if it
Want
has
to
the
go
7-inch movement to get around this corner, but if it's able
Right
to
there.
clear this corner right here, that would actually keep it almost entirely safe from the Wraithknight and the Void Weaver shooting. That would be
Throw
huge.
some
You could eat the
sixes,
D cannon shot,
surrounds.
but I don't think one D cannon is going to kill a half damage or a
Oh, I guess
full
she doesn't have
wound
that
Avatar of
same
Cain.
so she can actually be a
Those
little
guys do
bit
half damage. And that means that all the guns have to go into the Revenant Titan.
You over here.
That's kind of what you want as the Eldar player. Now,
We have some random
I
night
think
spinners.
awkwardly, this is the one situation where the Revenant Titan is actually not gaining cover.
We're gonna have you come out over
'Cause
here.
I don't believe that there's any way to protect it from this side. It does have a 4+ armor save baked in,
Decide to do. Over here.
but that would protect it against some of the smaller arm shooting.
This guy's over here. And then if you move your 10, and then charge, you're gonna have a hard time with that. So you can back out over here. And then
All right, chat. Let's put up a poll.
Because he's huge.
Who's going to win the Titan battle?
We're off to the races.
Is it Big Titan or Little Titan?
Cool. Yeah, the only person on the line side is the support weapon, and he does not care.
Is that the end of your movement phase then?
I'm gonna double check, but I think yes. End of my movement phase. Move away.
Okay, I will spend a CP to Phantasm.
He's coming closer.
So I was going to slide in.
All right, here comes the Phantasm. Oh my god, look at that, chat. Oh, I think we were able to perfectly hide. Is that right? Oh, maybe not. Holy shit.
Cool. Let's shoot some stuff.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Look at this perfect hit. This perfectly hidden Avatar of Cain. I don't believe that there is a line of sight between the Wraithknight and the Avatar there. That is sneaky. What a sneaky boy. So he is going to survive unscathed this turn, except for maybe the D-Cannon, obviously.
6s. Oh, did a great job. Reroll. 4 saves. AP1.
Whoa.
One,
Plinking away at the Titan with shuriken cannons.
Like, I'm not getting cover here, so 3 ups.
Because the shuriken cannons are AP1, then cover would apply to the Revenant Titan.
Take 5 minutes, sorry.
Cover doesn't stop applying below 3+. It just doesn't apply to a 3+ or better against AP0 attacks. But as soon as you're AP1, cover applies all the time. After this match, both players will be like, I see why people are annoyed. Yeah. They'd be like, oh, wow, Phantasm's really strong, isn't it? I was supposed to be able to shoot that guy, but now I can't. Like, yeah. Yeah, that's how that works. Are we paused right now? Sounds like we might have lost Prospero for a moment here. That Phantasm threw him for a loop. No, maybe not. He's there. Are we paused right now?
Yeah, I paused the clock. He had to take a run to the washing machine.
Oh, I gotcha. Those are important to ensure that
That they wash correctly.
Yeah, exactly. We're on the same page. Phantasm's pretty good strat, right?
Phantasm's pretty good.
Yeah.
You gotta love sending an avatar into your deployment summon on turn 1, technically speaking.
This guy has gone
where did he rank from?
on an adventure for sure.
Yeah, I think it's one of the secrets of why he's good is that he's not really speed 10, right? When he wants to be, he's speed 17.
Right. Yeah.
That's not correct. He's speed 24 because he advances 7, then Phantasm 7.
Yeah. Yeah, it was also... I mean, it's kind of the thing that... the reason the Wraith Guard are good, right? Because you couldn't really shoot them because they would kill you. Yeah. And then they would just move twice every turn.
Really fast.
Yeah. Advance, move at your turn. End up moving really fast.
Yeah, I think it's good that he got first turn. If he doesn't get first turn, I think this matchup is pretty almost... That's not unwinnable. It's very tough for him. But with first turn, it's a real game.
Yeah. The his little brother like kicks him in the shins. The Revenant Titan's little brother.
He's gonna do his best.
Yeah. They're gonna get into a wrestling match, but one of them brought a gun.
Yeah, the Revenant's very bad at killing the Wraithknight.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of hilarious. Good against all the other stuff though. Can you overwatch a unit moving due to Phantasm? No, because the Phantasm is in your own movement phase, and you can only overwatch in your opponent's movement phase.
Which is nice that they did that, because that would be
bad. If there's so many reactive moves and like out of phase movements in 10th edition that if Overwatch wasn't phase locked, it would be kind of a disaster. Everyone would be shooting everyone all the time.
I can already tell, though. I think I've just made a very careless error and done a really bad job, though. I forgot that she's cleansing, and I just shot with her just because, to do it.
Well,
which is bad.
That's yeah.
That's why you need tokens for these things
when you're doing that.
Well, I suppose it's different, right? Because these rangers get kind of weirded out not holding this point, which they probably should, and then I lose the thing too. So at least it's fair.
There you go.
Hello, I return.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. I was just saying I did a bad job. I forgot that she wanted to cleanse, but she's already shot. Okay. We good to go? Continue?
Yep, I am perfect.
All right. I will unpause the clock. Check. All right. Let's do some other stuff.
All right. Good washing machine break there, chat. Good discussion with the players. Glad both players are in good spirits about this game. I know mirror matches can be really, really tough sometimes, but Lord Solar did say at the beginning of the game, he told all of us, he was like, all right, everything's going on the line. I'm going to go first.
I did use battle scribe. Is that an error? I used the new battle scribe. Okay.
We're just YOLOing, my guy. It depends on the timing of when you cleanse. Like, usually the best practices are to declare your cleanses at the end of the turn in case you need that model to shoot. But, like, I think Prospero is going to hold himself to it. Even if your intention was to cleanse, if you declared... if you didn't declare the cleanse specifically and then you declared a ranged attack, then you wouldn't have been eligible to cleanse, basically. But
1 reroll.
Largely, people will declare their
And then
actions at the end of the shooting phase because that's the best time to do it. There's no reason to do it beforehand because if you need the gunshot for later, then you can save it.
1 save.
What's the AP on this?
1.
Do I have?
Yeah, I think he was like, I'm gonna
think
cleanse
you
with
just
this
do them all.
model,
Yep, you can.
but that's different from actually doing it, right?
Actually, yeah, because you got the bit working out. Yeah. 2 damage, so down to.
And then, not that it's going to be super relevant, but a battle shock test, please.
Oh, shot this. I pass it with flying colours.
And then we'll pop up to the one on the front, and he'll shoot.
Revenant Titan, 54% to win the Titan fight.
And to wound.
All right, I'm going to end my poll right here. We're going to save that for posterity
And
chat and see how this goes.
Bow. That rerolls left.
I will say this Wraithknight is, he is equipped to
rerolls
blow
1
up
more
Titans,
save.
so we'll see how it goes.
Excellent. Oh no, Steve, this to me again.
Sounds good. And then another battle shock test, please.
Steve's taking so much damage from shuriken cannons right now. This is a little bit embarrassing for him.
Sounds great.
That's too many shuriken
She
cannon
shoots.
shots.
She's got a singing
Mr.
spear.
Steve, I'm going to need you to make some saves.
Fails to wound, 1 reroll. Fails. And then she got her Elder Storm that shoots a bunch of shots. And she, I don't remember, but I think she already used her hit reroll. No, she used her wound reroll. I apologize. The hit reroll, blammo, still hit or fails to hit. And then this is 1 save. AP, I think also 1. I'll pass the night what. And then we have some night spinners. 1 night spinner. We'll shoot. Let's see. We'll shoot its heavy gun here and its little pop gun here. I guess this night spinner right here.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll do the pop gun first. The shower can catapult. Flammo. 1 reroll to hit. 1 explosion. And then 6 to wound. 1 reroll to wound. 1 save. Neat. And then the main gun will shoot 7 shots. Hitting on 4s. And then wounding on 5s. That is no wounds, and we'll just reroll the dice. That is 1 wound.
2 up.
Neat. And then he is marked with, what's it called? Pinned. And then the next night spinner will shoot all its guns at the Revenant.
Yep.
I'll do the main gun first. That is... Ooh, I definitely did this wrong. It's not 2d6 shots. It's d6 plus 3. I apologize. I got carried away. Do you want me to reroll against the Avatar, or do you want me to just leave it there? Because it did no damage.
It's fine. It didn't take damage, so whatever.
I apologize. I was going too fast there. So I'll just... I'll roll a die. On a 4 up, it's the 2, and on a 1 through 3, it's a 1.
And for me, yep.
Otherwise, I can reroll, but I think that benefits me.
That's fine by me. 4 up, it's a 2.
Sounds good. So it's the 1 for a total of
What unit was this
4
going
shots.
into again?
The Revenant.
Revenant, cool.
Flammo. 1 hit reroll. And Flammo. Reroll and twin linked. Nothing. And then the shuriken catapults. All hits. Rolls a wound. Oh, I guess I do have a wound reroll. So it's twin linked on the other one. Oop.
Yep.
No dice there.
2 up here, because cover.
Great.
We're good.
Okie dokie. And then we'll do the fun stuff. The support weapon. We'll fire into the Mr. Big Boy.
Yep.
Number of shots is 1. That's it. That's CP. Seems rather bad. Now we'll look at it. Fire. Miss. Reroll. Hit. To wound. Fail. Reroll. Success. Save, please.
Strength.
16.
16. Yeah, that is a win. 6 plus 2, right?
Yep. D6 plus 2.
That's 2d6. I'm going to roll this. Saves it.
Sounds good. Okie doke. And then we'll do our everyone's lovable favorite guy, the Wraithknight. Shoot the shoot the Steve.
Yep.
Number of shots is 3. We're not doing great on the number of shots today. To hit with a reroll. We'll reserve 1 die, 2 wounds. Well, that's good. Partially at the other one to a 6. I can't argue with that. And we will 1 at a time do 2d6.
Yep.
First one, we'll 5, 6, 7, 8 mortals. Second one, we'll do 10 mortals.
Down to 3.
And then the last one will do 8 mortals. You gotta wonder, why have an army when you can just have a Wraithknight?
Does it go pop? Leave it, no.
The Wraith cannons, chat.
Well,
They are too strong. Wraithknight, no.
We have no charges to declare.
The official
We have
winner
no
of the
fights to
Titan
fight.
Showdown. Oh my god, these things are so good at
My
killing
turn,
Titans.
and,
Holy crap.
and graciously, because of course, you know, it was so unfair that your Rangers weren't on this point. I have not done cleanse because I forgot in this current shot. I will not cleanse, but I will extend battle lines for 5.
Extend battle lines
And
ticking
I
over.
will
And now we have the Avatar. Is it going to be able to push out into this Eldar army? We're going to see if that's going to be good enough after losing all these points. I guess we also have the Shadow Specters to show up, so we might just see
No points on
Lord Solar here try to push as hard as he can to clip out maybe one of the spinners and maybe the Void Weavers with the Shadow Specters and then hide them. That could be a game plan. If we can get it to a situation where it's just the Wraithknight wandering around the table trying to fight a bunch of lone operatives, that could be okay. But it is going to be an uphill battle because that thing is so good in the Titan mirror match. That Wraithknight.
And then still behind enemy lines. Gotcha. Cool.
You heard it here first, folks. Wraithknights are real strong. 2 weeks attending a GT of the Knights Army. Already dreading facing Eldar, yeah. Yeah, I think the Eldar Wraithknight is probably the strongest single model in the game, right? There's like no... There's sort of no ifs, ands, or buffs about it. That thing will just straight up kill you. There's nothing you can do.
Super accurate, but a general sense of it, it's going to be here with whole measure. And this one's going to be not even close to accurate, but I'll just drop a little marker. 9 inches right there. There's a little die outside of that die. Yeah.
Maybe trying to get a little peek at that support weapon platform. I think at least this Night Spinner's a little bit kind of blocked off by the other models. It's not a great Phantasm if it tries to escape from Gris, the Avatar of Cain. And do remember we can Fate Dice our charge rolls here. So if we take a look at Lord Solar's Fate Dice pool, he's got a 6 in there, so he can auto 6 a charge roll. He has -2 movement thanks to the entangling web on the Night Spinner, the monofilament web. So he's not going to be going quite as fast as far as he would normally, but with an auto 6 in the roll, he's basically automatically going 14.
His charge is going
Ooh, it's going to be tough, though.
to 7, and then I need an 11 on the charge.
So he'd need to roll a 5 up after a Fate Dice. It's a little bit scary.
Let's just get which is...
Man, Night Spinners, what a unit. What an absolute monster. Yeah, there's some units with mortal wound protection. Still don't love to be hit by devastating wounds, especially the 2d6 devastating wounds. I think the real sort of problem is that the Wraith Knight's the base damage is so high that even being hit by the mortals, just being hit by the mortals is good enough that you'll probably die, which is a little bit nuts when you think about it. You just get pile drived by that thing.
He is not visible for Overwatch on the Wraithknight, which is the only
Not
Overwatch
for
I
Wraith.
probably care about.
It didn't screen out the back here. I wonder if you go for the Outark Wayleaper. Maybe not. That opens you up to the Unkarn with the dead drops
Sounds great.
from the Shadow Specters. We also do have some Shadow Specters in reserve for Zach as well. Two additional units of Shadow Specters. 5 models each. Not quite the full committal to the Shadow Spectre meme that Lord Solar has, but it's close enough. Hell of a unit, those Shadow Specters. Good blast weapon. Focused fire for multi-damage if they need it. They can shoot and scoot, which lets them enter into the 9-inch area denial bubble after the deep strike, which can really mess up a lot of people's positioning. You can try to screen them off an objective, but if you're not basically like wholly on the objective and screening out 6.1 inches away from every point of it, then the Shadow Specters can get to the objective. Shadow Spectre unit dropping down right here. Looks like we're going to cut line of sight to the Void Weaver. And then maybe try to hide behind these ruins with a 6-inch move. The walls here are tree line of sight blocking, but I don't know if they're going to be able to protect you too well against the Wraithknight. That thing is a little bit scary. And then I imagine that the Avatar of Kane's just going to try to get roll the big charge here. Right to the Night Spinner. You kind of can't. You can't not.
I'll jump in real quick with Phantasm Dots.
Yeah.
We could Phantasm this guy away. He is 12. Oh, I'll go back to an auto measure. Auto. Have to get out to here to get out to the line of shot. Otherwise, we could cut inwards, which probably is our move. I'm going to go ahead and put this guy over, and then I'm going to block him. I'll make a little guy. Go exactly on top of him. There you go. Let's see where we could go. Because this is really awkward with just the way tanks measure, so I'm just going to be careful about this. I guess he's not going to run out of movement to do it. He's just going to run out of space to physically be where he wants to be. Yeah. So we could do something like this. Do we treat things like the extra cape on the Farseer as part of the model? Don't really know.
Yeah.
This is definitely phasing through her a little bit. I think like right there probably does it. No, not quite. He would be chargeable over the wall if he is anything right here. He's clear there. So a tiny bit. It's hard to measure. I think he has to be a little bit further forward here. This doesn't really help me though, because he's OC3. I guess these guys moving 6 will all get in. Oh, they don't have anything to shoot, do they? Oh, no, they do. They have this this one, the Weaver. So I guess if I pull the Weaver out, they would have no targets.
Could do the Weaver there. Yeah, Phantasm on the Weaver would be kind of obnoxious for the Shadow Specters.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but the Shadow Specters do have to shoot to do their firing fade, right?
Yeah, they do.
So
I think that's the best move, and the Avatar will just do what he does.
It'd be a little bit of a misplace on Lord Solar's part, not giving a single model line of sight to the Night Spinner over here. Who we blocked down? Yeah, that Night Spinner. I don't believe anybody will be able to see that guy. No, he's hiding. Interesting. Yeah, I think both of these players getting a little of the taste of the Phantasm medicine. It's got to be a bitter pill, honestly. You're like, wow, this stratagem's really strong. Holy shit. I keep trying to shoot at things, and then my opponent pays 1 CP, and then I can't. So these Shadow Specters are just stranded now. They can't use their fire and fade. Unless I can shoot the Wraithknight? No, he's hiding. Yeah, otherwise he would overwatch them. Yeah, well, get wrecked, I guess. And we're going to go for the 1d6/5 on the Night Spinner. Easy game. Yeah.
Yeah, Avatar into...
Our way.
Which can use a 6 on the hit roll.
Sounds good. How much do you explode?
Using a 6 on
Explode
the hit roll.
for 2 extras.
Pop out.
A wound on 2s, I believe. Strength 16.
They would need to be 18 to win on 2s.
Yeah.
That is how math works.
I
Well,
get
that's really
3
good
wounds.
enough. I need
84.
6s to save. Do I roll 6? Pow. I don't. DiMaggio?
Damage 5.
Yeah, because he melted at full range, I think.
He's just straight up D6 plus 2.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Second one. DiMaggio.
Which will be 6. 7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess I could keep him alive.
Puts him to 1.
Not sure what else. Nothing really else is left to shoot except for the Death Jester. Because these guys can't shoot. Sure. We will use the part here to make that a 6 and pass the last one.
Yep. Okay. Shadow Specs can't
If only we had one cheeky Shadow Spectre to finish that Night Spinner off, that'd be clutch. Good try on Lord Solar's part, just trying to
shot.
kill that guy.
I don't think you have to do it one at a time anymore.
This is what I very much do want to do one at a time, because if I like get a bunch of hits, the Death Wounds for Mortals. Second shot. It's third one. Let me see what I roll. Cool, turn it to 6.
Okay, so 6 hits.
Wounding on 5, so for 1 reroll. Wait, 6 is probably strength 6.
6 is because of fortune. Yep.
I have
Oh my god, alright.
have
So firing the Death Jester over here at the Incarn. This guy does have devastating wounds on his Shuriken Cannon. Unfortunately, the Incarn is half damage right now, so reducing those devastating wounds down to 1 apiece. But that is a nice chunk of change off the Incarn's total value there.
Cool.
Alright. Now we did use our 6 on the shot for Lord Solar. He has no more 6s left in his Fate Dice pool. So do we auto advance, or do we auto charge with the Avatar of Cain? I think we determined it was probably a 10-inch charge. The 6 would have made it a 4+ on the other dice.
That was an 11-inch charge.
Totally measured. It would leave you with no reroll for the charge. But
I also be just a bad idea to use it on a reroll for the charge, so I'll spend 2 and
that's kind of what I was thinking as well.
in there.
Alright, Shadow Spectre's popping on. Now what you could do here is try to, if you have the CP floating for the Avatar of Cain, you could try to raw dog the first roll and just nail it on the 10 or 11 on the 2d6, and then CP reroll, and then Fate Dice on the CP reroll. That gives you the best chance. No, we're just try to do it naturally. Saving the Fate Dice for Chris, the Avatar of Cain.
Okay, so I have 3/4 for engage, which gets me.
And that does mean the Night Spinner gets to live.
I think you have. Oh no, you have 3.
Engaged on the fronts and behind enemy lines, maxed out for Lord Solar, and he starts taking a serious lead here. Especially because we have that cleanse stuck in Zach's hand from his mistake last turn. Only 1 score in primary, and this is why Lord Solar has been so successful this tournament so far. He forces his opponent to play this hyper conservative game plan to deal with the Revenant Titan. Because if you just like line deploy against the Revenant Titan, it'll just pick you apart with its big flamers. It'll constantly be juking in and out of threat range. It'll be blowing you up, and it'll be overwatching you as you move up to try to catch it. So you have to play this very conservative game plan to punish it as it moves forward, but in doing so, you just cede board control to the Eldar army. Now, another Eldar army is probably the most maneuverable, counter to that, but it does require some out-of-the-box play from Zach.
I don't think there's anything else in the command phase.
So I think this we still have an interesting game to shape up here. Unfortunate that we were able, for Lord Solar, that we were able to keep that Void Weaver alive and didn't push anything into the top corner here. That does mean that the Incarn and the Outdark Wayleaper are probably going to secure control of this side of the table. And the real question is whether or not this Wraithknight just dirts the Avatar of Cain. It has the potential to do so, but half damage on that guy does make it a little bit tougher. Prospero can use Phantasm to protect the Wraithknight against the swingback, but if it gets too feisty against the Avatar, we do have a bunch of 5s in the Fate dice pool. We could make a charge on that guy. Potentially possible. And hope for the best on the Avatar. Does hit for D6 plus 2 in melee, so he's got a big high damage output with Fate dice available to try to get through the -1 damage on the Wraithknight. That would not be a fight that Prospero would want to take, I imagine.
Remember cleanse this time. A critical thing. Be handled by our friendly neighborhood Autark.
As a reminder, chat, the other game in this semifinals is scheduled for tomorrow evening, so 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Please come check that one out. That one's going to be Necrons versus Adeptus Custodes. That one's going to be super exciting. I'm super psyched for that one.
So that's just for me at the me token.
Guaranteed. The last matchup of the event that is guaranteed not to have any Eldar in it.
Here. The Void's just going to start piling in onto this stuff, and they do want to do some screening. They love to draw a line from this little beamy thing. It's like out here, so can't do it from behind the thing. Could shoot the Avatar. We're giving up on our shuriken cannons. Granted, those may be not necessary. You are screening to here. Yeah, I think we're better off putting you on the objective. Yeah, so go your 14. It's 9. 5 left, he'll toe into the objective, or nose into the objective, I should say. The Incarn can wander her 10. Then we have guys that are all
Give a quick shout out to our sponsors as well, chat, while we're going through Prospero's movement phase here. Delta Studios, if you haven't checked them out already, they do make super cool, high-quality kits for life-size prop weapons and equipment from a wide variety of sci-fi universes, but most notably Warhammer 40k and Halo and Deep Rock Galactic. The Warhammer 40k stuff's really cool. You can get like bolters and chainswords from them that you get in a little kit and then assemble yourself, just like you had a model kit, basically, except it's a full-size thing. Gamemat.eu, you can use coupon code TT10 over there. You get 10% off mats and terrain that they have available. They also have some cool, like, snap fit tournament trays. I know the winner last season actually got a tournament tray, which looks pretty rad. Like, it would magnetize together, so you could disassemble it between tournaments. The Magnet Baron, you can get them at themagnetbaron.com. Speaking of magnets, you get all sorts of magnetization kits and accessories over there, and last but certainly not least, 3D6 Wargaming, which makes laser cut accessories, including neoprene mats and terrain layouts, which is cool. All right, here comes the Wraithknight. Get in line of sight to that Avatar. You got to body block off the Phantasm, right? Because I think if the Avatar... could it Phantasm into the building here and actually escape the gunshot from the Wraithknight in a second turn? There's no way, right? 7 inches? Oh, that's what Lord Solar's measuring. It looks like. It looks like we would be a little bit too far. Rip. If only there was no tower and keyword. You can get over here. That would be nice, but not today. That's not the game we play. Might just literally Phantasm the Shadow Specters, honestly.
This Death Jester. All right, that's kind of interesting. Then these guys will remain stationary. We have this one Farseer who will. I should finish where this lady wants to go. Being a bit frenetic. So I think she wants to not get popped and dropped, so to speak. So she'll stay there. This other Farseer will advance. she's just going to go 13. And she'll end up back here. No, she actually doesn't want to go further. Oop. And everyone else over here is remaining stationary. And we have some drops. We have 2 Shadow Spectre squads, which could come down if they wanted to. Don't really need them for Cleanse or Assassinate. It's not a terrible idea just to have them. Nine is right here.
So it looks like we might be taking the deep strike shots into the lone operative
Oh,
characters
very-
with the Shadow
very tough to
Specters.
hit
Ooh.
things. Could drop down over there.
Could be back-breaking for poor Lord Solar.
If you-
Although, gotta keep in mind those phantasms.
Don't think you could get
One of them can save themselves from the shots.
free.
The Rangers also reactively move
Tough sell for you.
in response to any movement within 9 inches of them. So if the Shadow Specters move forward to try to engage or contest that objective without killing the Rangers, the Rangers can actually reposition themselves onto it.
I do think
Talking to a friend about towering last week, he thinks
Phantasm.
towering should only be effective for a certain range, like 24 inches. I'm not sure that actually makes a difference, really. I mean, it does a little bit. But
We can drop these guys out.
the big issue is, like, you have terrain pieces like this thing, right?
away.
So the player's deployed in this corner deployment zone, where you're in this area. And this terrain feature is meant to allow your units to progress to the center of the table.
Believe the other
And
one
this
is
terrain
there.
feature does nothing in the towering matchup. So if one player has towering, you can't put anything behind this terrain feature because it doesn't do anything. And if you had a 24-inch cap on it, then it wouldn't really change that much. It would just mean that the knight had to be here to do it instead of here. And it makes it so that you have so much more difficult of a time actually interacting with the midboard objectives because you can't take advantage of terrain to save yourself in the middle of the table. I think the real issue is like the middle of the table terrain that like melee units are trying to hide behind, or like short range units or like small utility units. Those units become so much worse in the towering matchup that it's insane. All right. So cheeky phantasm to save ourselves from the Shadow Specters. And that would actually prevent them from being able to shoot. So again, they would not be able to use their fire and fade. It's 2 factions that just can't interact with each other. I think I like there's a towering house rule that makes it so that towering just gives you the 9th edition ruin rules, where if you touch a terrain feature, you can see through it instead of being able to, see through it all the time. And I like that because it means that, towering units can be seen potentially. It's easier for them to get seen through terrain. But it also means that they have to actually move up the table in order to get through other people's terrain. It makes it way worse, like, offensively, basically, which is very good. Does the Avatar's TTS aura bubble look a little funny? Like it starts partway into the base. Yeah, so it looks like sometimes the scripting in TTS detects you as a smaller base than you actually are. I think they made it an extra inch bigger just to compensate for that. You can actually change that. It's the hotkey 6 if you're in Yellow Scribe, I believe. Will actually change the size of the aura. So you can cycle through all of the base sizes in the game until you get the right one. It's supposed to auto-detect, but sometimes it just messes up, especially for these models with complex geometry. That happens pretty often.
I'm 90% sure they bracket. I'll double check.
LSO used it, and it was good. Did they really?
That's how the bracketing might do nothing.
Wow.
Do nothing.
Good for them.
Number of shots.
Yeah, I mean, that's like just such a good fix, honestly.
We'll not into it today. Hitting on
Should
fours.
just be what it is to begin with, but, who knows.
And then wounding on 2s.
Freeze, because
Oh, because you're fortunate, haha. With 1 reroll. And then we could reroll the other ones. You have 3-up, say. we will
it'll be a
reroll the other
4-up in Vol. If I'm not mistaken.
So trying to
4-up armor
trying to
Just a 6-up.
plow down the Farseer over here.
Well, then I guess we will
Pierre
not
the
reroll for
Farseer
6.
getting shot by Void Weavers. It's basically the only he's only the only good target besides the Shadow Specters, who are just gonna die to the Void Weavers over here, theoretically. Oh, very nice. Kills the Farseer. So both Phoenix Gem and the Incarn can trigger. The Phoenix Gem will roll at the end of the phase to see if that model comes back to life. The Incarn can then just attack the Death Jester.
Which will get interesting when she resurrects with similar rules, but we'll get to that when we get to it. And then we've now completed Assassinate. I think Assassinate specifically carves out resurrecting models.
Yeah, objectives don't check at the end of the game anymore. They just check immediately. So the criteria of being destroyed is still
Thanks. Sounds good.
Is still met. So even if you resurrect, you still get assassination now, which is kind of interesting.
I did forget to clear. You can say no if you want the pop guns on this guy into the avatar.
Go for it. There's nothing else to shoot.
That's good. This is hitting on also 4s because of the wounded status, and then it all misses. Can't change the past. And then we'll go ahead and do the D cannon, which will shoot the avatar.
What is it about like the quantum uncertainty of the universe that makes
Number
that
of
true?
Shots.
It's crazy.
Feel a little bit better about it. He'll get 2 shots.
I think it's because you tend to forget like largely inconsequential things which have such a low chance of doing any damage anyway. But it always feels like you miss or like fail to wound every single time. Every single attack that you forget to make. Like the universe enforces that you play correctly. It is weird.
Neat. We'll end up with 7 damage, halved down to 4.
Menhirs are still characters, yeah. Well, at least they don't blow up anymore, so that's good.
I don't think he suffers -1 to hit because the D cannon's ability only affects non-monster vehicles, if I remember.
Although, to be fair, not many people playing the Silent King right now, so...
Then we'll shoot...
it is what it is. Which is a little bit sad. I like that guy. He's a cool model.
Main gun. Blammo.
Alright, here comes the Void Weavers into the Avatar. 4 damage down on the Avatar already. A little bit scary.
Nothing.
And the Wraithknight hasn't even shot yet.
Blammo. We already used our reroll. And then 6 is here. Nothing.
Chad, I think Zach has very tactically played this game or scheduled his game for early in the morning, so I can't do the Zach drinking game where every time he says blammo, you take a shot and literally kill yourself.
This Farseer. She'll shoot the Shadow Specters. Yeah, she'll shoot the Shadow Specters with her brain. Number of shots +1 from blast will be 2. Hitting on 3s, 1 reroll.
Hitting on 4s for stat.
Gotcha. So this will hit. And then the other Farseer will also shoot her with her brain and also her shuriken catapult. Brain, also not great. Those both hit. Wounding on 2s, those both wound. AP, I want to say 1 with cover.
1 with cover, so 4 ups.
It is in fact 2 with cover. But yeah, it's all much the same. And then her shuriken catapult, double check the range on that. Yeah, that's good. 2 stops. She did not use her hit reroll yet. 2 attempts to wound, 2 more saves. Those are AP 1 with cover.
I lose 1.
Sounds good.
Poor Shadow Specters.
And that's the 2 Farseers done. Altark has nothing special to do. Void Weaver will shoot his main gun into the Avatar and his shuriken cannons into the Shadow Specters. Main gun into the Avatar. That's not good. Try again with 1. And then to wound. Try again. 1 wound.
I assume.
Damage 4 down to 2.
Down to 8.
And then we have shurikens into the Specters. Oop, that was too many. Just 6. Hitting on 4s. We used our reroll. And wounding on 2s. We used our reroll. 3 saves at AP 1. No cover here, I think.
Yeah, no. 4 ups. 1 left.
Then we'll do the Wraithknight, who will shoot his main guns into the Avatar and his smaller guns into that 1 Shadow Specter.
Mm-hmm.
His main guns, number of shots. Get over here, guys. will be, wow, he's not feeling it today. Well, he rolled the 6s. You can't complain. Hitting on 3s. I'll reserve one of these. Wounding on 3s. Try again. That will fail. The other one will turn into a 6 with a Farseer. And we'll send 7 mortal wounds home down to 4. And then his light guns into the other guys. They do not. Well, they have all of their hit rerolls. They reroll everything as a guide. And then 2s to wound. And he did spend his wound reroll, so that's 2 wounds, AP3.
That is a dead chance spec.
Neat.
Oof.
Then this Incarn can shoot a gun, but I think she has line of sight to no one.
I think I might have bad news for Chris over here.
So last to go is the Healthy Night Spinner, who is probably shooting the Avatar. Not gonna get a lot done doing that. Actually, that's not last to do. There's one of these guys. We'll just do that real quick. The one man shooting the Autark will shoot him.
Mm-hmm.
I do think we're still best off with big shots, so blammo. It's blammo, wounds.
I mean, there's basically no more shooting coming, so we'll fate dice that.
Sure. And they can move 6 inches and then accept their fate. He's OC1, correct?
He's only OC1.
Sounds good. Guess they
So gave him the shot on the Shadow Specters. But I guess in order to prevent them from shooting, they would have had to move off the objective, which would have been awkward. Is that how that?
This way.
Feels like there potentially could have been a position where
Hang out
that
there.
wouldn't have been possible, but maybe not.
It's good for coherency.
I guess not.
And then it's just the Night Spinner now. Could do very little into the Avatar, slow him down, which would be nice. Or get to work on these Rangers. I think our best bet is to, if you moved 8, go here, get a 7-inch charge. We will do the Avatar. All guns into the Avatar. We will do our main gun first. Number of shots. They're a little sleepy today. Hitting on 3s here. We have 3 line of sight with the reroll. And wounding on 5s. And we'll reroll everything.
Double
And
blammo.
find 1 mortal after the reduction. And then he's pinned again. And then we have this Shuriken Catapult. We've definitely rerolled our hits already. But we have not rerolled our wounds because of twin links.
I'd run out of liquor. I
And
think.
that's all she wrote. Okay. So that, I believe, is all the shooting.
All right. Well,
We have the 1 charge, which is the Incarn.
Chris survives.
I'll just roll to see if I'll see a pop back up.
Yeah, Matt. I think you can.
What did you say? Oh yeah, you have to get back up. That's right.
I think you could. I think you can start the
I
drinking
think she
game for
gets
sure.
shoved.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, I think.
Phoenix
that's exactly
Gem procs. So the Farseer pushes back in. The Incarn could charge
in case she has
both
to shove
now.
both, 'cause I think it's
With Fate Dice and Fate's Messenger, I think it's actually a little bit awkward to kill both characters, especially because, well, I guess we don't have lightning fast reactions available, unfortunately, for
You guess it being a little difficult, but I think that's fine.
Lord Solar here.
I can see the circle already. Yeah, 0.9, 0.4. Sounds great. And then I think she still has her -1 to wound.
Yeah,
Don't think that
it's the
falls
same
off.
unit, so.
And then I don't think there's any other charges. So the Incarn will slap the Death Jester with all her attacks.
Mhm.
Hitting on 2s. 1 reroll. Wounding on 2s. 1 reroll. Good for 4 saves. He's dodging.
Oh my
He's
god, he
dodging.
survives! He's got
He's
a
not
Fate's
dodging.
Messenger.
Sticks with Fate's Messenger.
Let's
He
go!
dodged.
Are you kidding me? So that blocks the consolidation on the Incarn. Can't go anywhere because you have to get closer to one of these models and you get stuck in the corner.
Oh yeah.
I think that Zach was hoping that the Death Gesture would die and the Incarn could just pop over there to take that objective, but that's not
Double tragic.
possible. Assassination still procs, so Zach is still going to score 4 points, and I think he will cleanse for 2, but he is down, and that is going to be A nice 15 score. Oh no, not quite. This objective got stolen. So a 10-pointer for Lord Solar.
Located on Cleanse. Have cleanse with my own.
Lord Solar's sticking around, fighting tooth and nail for every point he can get. It doesn't look good with this Wraithknight stampeding across the table, but he's gonna get as high a score as he can. Yeah, only one cleanse there.
Get 10 primary again.
Mm-hmm.
And I draw Ben Stronghold, Enemy Outpost.
Oh.
Those are both
Are you
doable.
kidding me? He drew capture?
I'm gonna start with
That's
fast
tough though,
primary.
because you have to suffer Overwatch from the Wraithknight, and the Wraithknight does have a bow. Look at this frickin' fate dice pool, chat. Look at these 6s right here. Those are ready to turn into hits and automatic wounds or hits or automatic wounds, I should say, in Overwatch to just kill the avatar. What can we do about that? I guess you could just plan to get to keep the avatar there and then get it with the
avatar is going to move up 8 inches towards your Wraithknight.
Good.
Get it with the Shadow Specters. Yep. All right. Here's the Overwatch. Just gonna eat it. That means that the Shadow Specters won't be Overwatch now, but it likely means that the avatar's dead.
Still a little sleepy. Go for 3 shots.
Only 3 attacks though. Maybe. There's a will, there's a way, I guess.
Number shots is 3. Blammo. Guide.
Oh no, just kidding. We flubbed all the hit rolls.
What's gonna call it? The Star Cannons. Guide.
Oh my god. Oh, 1 Star Cannon hit went through. I don't think that's gonna be enough though.
1 wound.
From the Star Cannons is 7 or 8 or
Neat. Good to go.
Sick. All right. That's Overwatch done with. So now the avatar could just stand there and you score the capture enemy outpost, or you bring in the Shadow Specters to add additional OC here. What Prospero could do to prevent this is actually chuck a spinner there that actually doesn't do anything.
Measure if that's not.
It's not high enough OC to beat the avatar, and it's not high enough OC to beat 5 Shadow Specters coming in either.
For the Autark. It is not enough.
Interesting. This is the best turn for Lord Solar to possibly draw a capture enemy outpost. So, that's interesting. I do also wonder what we're going to do about these guys. The Autark might just be able to kill them with melee attacks. He does have 5 attacks at strength 6. So he could potentially kill them, but he does actually have to remove the entire unit and then deal with the Incarn, which is problematic.
And we're going to get it so that you don't get 2 of them at least. Get them.
That seems hard to avoid cover.
Then, does the Void Weaver hull or base measure? I know the Star Weaver base measures.
It's my understanding is the Void Weaver hull measure, because that's what it did last edition. I think the Star Weaver does as well.
Okay. We're going to bring 5 Rangers in from Strat Reserve. Who do we want to kill?
Down.
We can just go after the... And then we'll have the final unit Shadow Spectres try and gank a Farseer or something.
Sounds grand.
Maybe
Give me this bubble.
Go for 2 of them.
There you go. You already got it.
We're going to get greedy.
Yeah, let's watch out for this guy right here.
Yep. Let's go. And he can jump onto that objective.
Sounds great. Okay, so let's be a little further back, but you're ready to go.
Yep. Move that.
Sounds great.
We have bingo. Shooting.
I will Phantasm. Certainly
Who will
somewhere.
you think?
Probably the Wraithknight. You'll just step backwards onto this point. I think this. Okay, I got a free measure. Gonna go 7 inches to there. Part of his base. 7 inches to there with the other part. Boop. And step onto the objective. Looks like he will remain in range just barely doing that. I got to wiggle him. What do you say?
He's AC 10, so we're not taking that off you. Okay, so for my shooting, I'll start off with the Autark's going to use his V-shot into the Shadow Spectres.
Blammo.
No, I gave him a fusion gun in this one. He used a fusion gun. It's on a 3 because my wounds on a 2, presumably. Rolls.
It's a defective gun today.
In that case, you don't. We'll come back to that. These Shadow Spectres are going to shoot that 1 wound Knightsman now.
Sounds grand.
I am going to use 2 of them with the focus profile and 3 of them with the blast.
So 2 focus, 3 blast.
So 2 focus that you... 3 blast will be the ones that you don't get cover against, and the 2 focus will be the ones that you do get cover against.
Trevor may be able to correct me, but my understanding is that if one model does not have line of sight, everyone gets cover.
Works, yeah, I forgot about that. Yep, so 2 focused. Hitting on freeze.
Yeah, cover works in the way that is
Wounding on 5s.
beneficial to smaller units and detrimental to larger ones, generally.
Sounds good. This would be a 4-up
It
save.
works too, based on the model the save is being allocated to. So if you have lots of little models and most of them are in line of sight of the entire enemy unit, then those models that you allocate to won't get cover. But if you have a single big model and some of the models attacking it don't have line of sight, then it gets cover against everybody. It's a little bit weird. But there are there's corner case situations where like one model can't see the unit they're attacking and the entire enemy unit gets cover.
Peek by.
So didn't kill this Night Spinner. Man, this Night Spinner just is just living on a prayer over here. Chat, things in 10th edition do hull measure. It's just that the rules for hull measurement are incredibly poorly written. You hull measure if it is possible to block a model engaging you, then you use hull measurement. In order to create sort of actually, maintain our sanity. The rule we're going with right now is that units will, with a couple of notable exceptions, units will use whatever form of measurement they used in 9th edition. So if something hull measured in 9th edition, it will retain hull measurement. Void Weavers and Star Weavers are an exception because they don't need that rule. But like Eldar Grav Tanks become a mechanical nightmare if they don't have a hull measurement rule.
These are 81 with cover, right? These are 3-ups. We got the last guy. So we'll kill them all, and this one will be last to die. The game crown will teleport there. Oops.
Oof. So we did this, I think, with the Death Jester shooting, right? We could have, I think if we'd killed just a couple of them, you could have done this with the charge, and that would have made it so that the Autar could have prevented the Incarn from standing on the objective with its final placement. With its engagement range, but not with the shooting phase. If you charge in and basically encompass the entirety of the model's base that's on the objective, where it's standing on the objective, then the Incarn can't teleport to that objective. So that is actually going to block defend stronghold for Lord Solar. That's a big loss there, although he will get capture enemy outpost, which is big. Keeps the score down quite a bit, though. Yeah.
Wound on the Void Reaver.
Sounds good. I think... Yeah, we'll just try for a save. Good.
4-inch dual talk. Just hit reroll yet. And wins on the attack.
Sounds good. First one saves. Second one does not save. Takes 2 damage.
The Avatar is going to shoot the Farseer.
That's good.
Stained. 4 hits.
Oh my god.
Oh, he's mad.
Oh
Which
my
part
god.
The closer one?
The foot one, yeah.
This laser beam,
One
though.
in range. That's good.
3 wounds.
You got it. 1, 2. I think it's actually okay. Right. 3. Wow, she's living.
Jesus.
We're in a Death Tester, just rolling 4s all the way.
The Shadow Spectres, so it's going to shoot at... One of them's going to shoot the Void Reaver, the other 4 are going to shoot... 2 of them are going to shoot the Autarch with the Blast Profile, and 2 are going to shoot the Blast Profile.
We're going 2 and 3.
2, 2, and 1 using the Focused.
Sounds great. Go for it.
I do appreciate Lord Solar splitting really super wide here, but he's in such a bad position. He's basically has like 20% of his opponent's power on the table. So he's trying to randomly maximize damage. If he can get really lucky here, he can take a ton of pieces from his opponent. So this is definitely the correct play. It's 90% of the time you would not be splitting fire like this, but in this one situation, because you're so far behind, it is sort of recommended that you do so and just try to get lucky.
All right. First one passes. Second one takes a wound. I don't think it's cover. It's AP1, right? Yeah.
9.
I was a little more excited about that one.
It's again 3 wins on the Farseer.
Oof.
3 wounds on Farseer.
Not getting the dice that we wanted, I think, for Lord
We'll take
Solar
a
here.
damage.
Does Wraithknight have fly? But it can just walk.
He's
over
living
anyway.
forever.
We'll just duck behind the wall. Charges. The Avatar is going to charge the Void Reaver.
Sounds good.
Do I have a CP? Yes. I can just roll it.
Ugh.
Or is not going to be enough.
Yeah, I
So
needed
we're
a
gonna CP roll
5.
that.
Sounds good.
There you go.
Seems better.
And a 7, which goes to an 8. And that goes to you. Yep, so I'll use my Smashy profile.
I may lightning quick here. 3 CP, 4. Yeah, I'll lightning quick.
Does
Last
that
back.
do anything? Is the Avatar not damaged?
This one. And 2s. I'll fate dice one of them. Sure, I've got 2s. Use them.
Fate dice the wound roll? Not fate dice the damage?
4 wounds.
4
I think you
saves.
kill it on a 5 here.
All right. First one. Will fail. Damage.
Oh, just kidding.
Well,
Just
that
roll a
was a short
6.
conversation.
Just
Does he
natural roll a
explode?
6.
He does not.
Easy game.
Yep, let's tag your Wraithknight. Sure.
That's grand. Great. I guess we'll do some punches. If the Wraithknight want to move at all, he would have to base, which I think would pull him off the point, so he'll not choose to pile in. He'll just make some punches.
Mhm.
5 attack. Blammo. Full
Well,
rerolls.
Lord Solar's fighting
And
tooth
turn
and nail
5 is
here.
5.
So he's going to go up to 48 this turn.
Save AP 1.
He'll have a 20-point lead on his opponent. Losing that defense stronghold was huge.
Blocks the jab.
Great Tyrannid video. I honestly think we're weeks away from the entire Biovo data sheet getting a full rework with the new model.
Win draw.
Ryan G, thanks. Glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it seems
I was
good.
stayed up all night making that one, so
Cool.
glad it was well received. Yeah, I think the Biovores are ridiculous right now. I think honestly.
I will
I
get a 10. Yeah.
I don't know if it's like utterly transformative to the faction if you change them, but it does make them. It does stop them from basically getting the auto 20 on secondaries every game.
Bring it down.
Or auto 40.
Decent.
It's so difficult not to score secondaries with Tyranids right now, which is it's like really good. Might be a little abusive, I don't know.
Will use my party.
But yeah, I imagine the Codex will shake up a bunch of stuff for sure. I hope that Biovores become like an actual damage dealer. That'd be kind of cool.
And
One thing that Tyranids don't have right now is like a long range, just a big laser beam. All their big laser beam guns, like Tyrannifexes, are the rupture cannon profile, in my opinion, is like stone cold garbage. Venom cannons are horrible, and Zoanthropes are only 24-inch range, so there's not really like a big solid damage like long range gun in the faction, and that could be a design space that they move into.
Bring down my reserves. No more reserves coming.
Tyranids will be the definitive best faction submarines. I mean, maybe. They'll certainly have the most options.
Incarn has
But you know, are they going to be as good as this guy? Who knows? I cannot prognosticate. They'll probably be the best faction, but I don't know if they're gonna. It's gonna happen automatically.
I mean, frankly, the Incarn could just do herself, just menacingly looking at that guy. It's not the craziest thing in the world.
Considering it deploy
And then
teleport
we have to
cameras,
take these points.
or deploy teleport homers with the Incarn. Nothing left in strategic reserve.
Points, 'cause right now we're behind on points. I suspect that means the Shadow Specters, who will going to come down last, I'm just going to proxy them, so I know where I want to put them.
Oh, we do have a Shadow Spectre unit.
They come down probably in this area.
Yeah, I have a sneaking suspicion that we're going to see a little bit of a crippling of Lord Solar here this turn. It looks like the Death Jester is unfortunately within 12 inches of the Wraithknight, so it is an eligible target. I think the Wraithknight just puts in a devastating wound because the Farseer survived and just turns that guy into soup. You can shoot into the Avatar of Cain because it's a monster in melee, so this stuff can try to pick him up.
Remove Phantasm opportunity.
You just can't shoot with the indirect fire because it has blast keyword.
And something tells me there's going to be better Phantasm opportunities. But otherwise here, we're not going to get on with the 6. So I think we will probably end up doing that. Granted, it again happens at the end, but that's where I'm going to leave them now for my own memory's sake.
Codex Creep says yes. I mean, do you remember the 9th edition? The first set of 9th edition codexes to come out? The 9th edition codexes were such a degradation in power from the 8th edition codexes that the factions that got 9th ed codexes upon release were actually worse than some other armies, or than many other armies. And I don't know if that's going to be the same anymore. Like, who knows? I wouldn't automatically assume that Tyranids and Space Marines will be the best things ever in the game. I think it's likely, but I don't think it's guaranteed. What am I hoping for with tier detachment options? I want a Crusher Stampede back. I want to be able to play fast things, like, in an interesting way. Right now, Tyranids are just big, slow, like, kind of boring. Okay, so we're going to do the strat to fall back the Wraithknight and shoot. So that'll just make the target selection over here easier. This Farseer is already Phoenix Gemmed, so the Wraithknight could easily, you know, just pop one of each of these guys. Or leave that to everyone else and then charge onto the objective to hold it. I think we'll probably see Lord Solar tabled this turn if I was to hazard a guess. I know Zach was looking for the deploy teleport homers here, but I have a sneaking suspicion the Incarn might just turn this Autarch into soup because that's the that's an easy decision to make.
That said, it also needs to go nowhere, so we can remain safe.
And then you just have to clean up 10 Shadow Specters and 5 Rangers, and then the characters in the middle, and the game's over.
So I guess
A detachment that gives Onslaught as a stratagem, like Onslaught, like the new Onslaught, where you get Assault on your weapons.
I think that is kind of interesting. But they'll move. And if you Overwatch here, that'll open up some more opportunities for me. I'm okay with that. This guy will move out to here to be on this objective. Would you like to overrun?
No, you're alright.
Yeah, this guy will move out to here to be on this objective.
Mm-hmm.
These guys. Can they shoot these dudes? Still on free. Not really. That could be a move in Overwatch, but
Yeah, an advanced charge would be nice. The fact that the faction doesn't have one is really, besides Hormigons, is like really missing.
shoot backwards. This might be able to
A lot of the melee options feel pretty bad. I think like that would give Gene Stealers a new like lease on life, maybe.
I think that's us. 2 on Phantasm.
Yep, I will pull my Rangers behind the wall.
That's great. That'll pull him off the point, but you leave him alive.
Yep, if I can't have a point, you can't either.
That sounds only fair. Cool. And then we'll do some shooting. This here, Wayleaper, will just... I don't need this anymore. We'll just shoot that Avatar in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Blam! He misses. Try again. Blam! Keep it.
Second time in a row.
Good job. And then we'll do... this.
What's my opinion on the rule that if you table your opponent, you auto win regardless of scoring? Not in favor, honestly.
This Night Spinner right here.
I don't
Well, they're kind of the most
like 40k is a game about trading models for victory
We'll do this
points,
here. She'll throw her
and I
spear
think
at the
that
Avatar and shoot her other guns at these hunters.
Yep.
if you are able to
Everyone first.
put yourself in a position where you can get up
Range shot.
on
Shoot
you can be down on attrition but up on score, I think you should be rewarded for that rather than punished.
Sounds good.
I think that the
forward.
gameplay styles where you
Anyway.
force damage
And
into
then
your
we want
opponent
to
until the game's
Saves
over,
52.
like until they don't have any models left, should be discouraged as much as possible because I don't
Okay.
think they're very healthy.
That's good. Next parts here, we'll do the same thing. Number of shots now without blast will be 2. They're really slow on their shots. 1 reroll. Putting on 2s. 2 more saves, AP 2.
5 ups.
One. Then we have a little shuriken catapult action. Reroll, I didn't use it before. We've done 3s. Also didn't use our reroll before. 1 more wound to 1. Picks up 1 more guy. And then the singing spear. Blammo. It
Oh,
wins
got
on a
blammo.
5. It does wound. No AP.
2 up. He loves it.
Eight. And then we'll go ahead and shoot our Void Weaver. He'll pop. We're probably better than Night Spinner first. Including this Night Spinner. Shuriken catapult here, or sorry, Shuriken cannon there. And then main gun will pop into the 2 Rangers would be Death Gesture. An interesting series of choices. I guess we might be better off doing the Wraithknight first. Alright. Yeah, we'll do the Wraithknight first. He's going to shoot his star cannons into the face of the Death Jester. He's going to shoot at least 1 main gun at the Avatar. And then the other main gun go into the Farseer, but just really get the Avatar. Get him good. Yeah. Not an interesting question. Could be Dark Ants over here. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. So it's going to be main gun at... because of his ability to autosave is less attractive. Yeah, we'll do Dark Ants at the Death Jester, and then we'll do one main gun at the Avatar, both main guns at the Avatar. I just want to kill him.
Advice for using
Well, we'll
lictors?
do it anyways. All right. The Avatar. Number of shots.
It's like kind of.
Still 3.
I don't know if I have anything specific. They're just kind of so useful.
Hitting on 3.
You can set them up like in front of your army. Like, I guess don't get too overzealous with infiltrating. That's a big one that I see people do. They're like put lictors all up in the way, and then your opponent just goes first and kills them.
Want me to tell you what I was doing?
That's fine.
But you can set them up in situations where it's mathematically impossible for your opponent to get shots at them because they're like their movement plus 12 inches is farther away than where the lictor is placed. So you get like 2 or 3 inches of deployment, and they're fast enough that they can get to mid-board objectives that way, but most armies can't shoot them on turn 1, and that's a big deal. And then, like, because they're cheap enough, you don't really mind if you lose them. But they just skirmish so hard. They're just a skirmisher unit that it's good.
We'll just save on the dice.
You got it. And the other one, a Farseer will make into a 6. And he will shoot it in for, that would be 5, down to 3 mortals.
Does he explode?
Boom! No.
Oh, that would have been such a sweet explosion. Oh my god, could you imagine? Just clips all this stuff.
And then the Star Cannons into the Death Jester.
That would have been huge. So, poor Chris, the Avatar has been removed from the table. Now we're lighting up the characters.
4.
Sounds good. He used this thing, takes 2 damage. Cool. We'll go with the Void Weaver next. We will do this guy. He'll drop his Shuriken Cannon here and his other gun at the Death Jester.
He can't shoot Death Jester low knot.
Oh, because of low knot. Of course, I know how rules work. Then he'll shoot his main gun or his cannon here and his other light gun over at those guys. Yeah, it's worth it. All right, we'll do the main gun first. Oop, D6 plus 3 shots, 5 shots. And it hits on 4s. And it rerolls 1 roll. Don't know that we will need the help, but we'll do it anyways. And it wounds on 2s, but does 4 mortals, and that's definitely enough.
That was too much.
That was into the Rangers.
Yeah, they're gone.
We just want them gone. And then, oops, don't do that. These guys go away. We have the Shuriken Cannon into the Spectres, hitting on 4s. We already used our reroll. 1 explosion. Then 2s, 2 saves on them with AP1 super cover. Thanks a guy. Then we'll do a Void Weaver, all guns into those Spectres. Main gun will both miss. Try again. We'll hit once. We'll successfully wound once. 1 save, AP3.
If I could cross over 40k with another franchise or universe, what would it be?
And other guns. These guys will fail to hit.
It's a great question.
1 reroll to wound.
The weird thing about 40k is that it's like,
Looking at 4 saves.
and it's the thing that always happens anytime somebody tries to compare Warhammer 40,000 to any other like sci-fi franchise.
Yeah, you have cover.
Like the scale of 40k is so much larger than almost everything else. That it like doesn't really make sense. I would say like something super hard like hard sci-fi or like realistic sci-fi. That would be like kind of a culture shock, I guess. Would be kind of interesting. Like maybe
the Night Spinner. You will, I think,
like 3 body problem or like the culture maybe would be like kind of wild.
Rangers far away.
Where it's like a society that's developed in a different direction where.
Over here.
War like the Imperium and the whole Warhammer universe is based on this like esoteric sort of like arcane magic basically, whereas everyone else is like manipulating physics and like artificial intelligence in crazy ways. So on one hand, like the Imperium has literal wizards, and on the other hand, like you can turn things into 2 dimensions with
we'll do 4 mortals.
manipulator fields or whatever.
Was on the Rangers.
just
Bring it
gets
far away
it just gets super zany.
2 4-ups. I lose all right.
Sounds good. And then that's everything shot. I will spend 2 CP to fire and fade with these guys. I don't know if they can all make it back here. They probably can. You want to go... Well, I guess they can't hold the objective back there, so it'd be not much point. So let's go up here.
Yeah, I don't know if I would be that worried about the
Oop, over here.
3 remaining.
And then we have
Eldar
1 charge, which is
models.
right down into the Death Gesture,
Yeah, I killed everything besides the 3 characters.
which is a 10.
I think this is mostly a victory lap for our Wraithknight friend. To be fair, I think that's kind of the expected outcome between the Wraithknight and the Revenant Titan. The Revenant Titan, I will say, has a pretty appreciable threat range, but or threat. But what it doesn't have is good anti-Titan shooting. It's good like anti-medium vehicle or whatever, but against the damage reduction on the Wraithknight, and the Wraithknight has its own insane defensive stats, it's just going to win every time, I think. 60% of the time it works every time.
Sorry, say it again?
I was about to just point out guides, sorry.
Okay. Gotcha. I have a hard time hearing sometimes. And 1 reroll. 4 saves. AP 1. Actually, don't care about the AP.
He dies.
2 damage. And then I guess he'll go and engage that one guy.
The one guy will hit it.
Yeah, yeah, chat. Yeah, on one hand, the Imperium, or like, 40k can like blow up stars with Blackstone fortresses or whatever. And on the other hand, like,
ooh, he did it. He did damage.
you can just, you could just reconfigure entire solar systems
Well, thing's not working.
with like dimensional manipulation. Yeah, be kind of funny.
Okie dokie. That's me.
It's like at least something that's on the same scale,
hard.
you know.
We will have brought down a model with 10 plus wounds for 1, 2, 3, 4 points.
How about
we'll deploy teleport homework
see what happens when like you fight a bunch of Imperial battleships with like the Tri-Solarian teardrops or whatever.
Yep.
Be kind of zany.
Over to you, my friend.
So Lord Solar is still up a little bit, but he's not holding any more objectives. Oh, we actually deploy teleport homers back here with the Incarn. Only 2 models remaining. Yeah, I think we're just trying to make a good show of scoring. Storm hostile objective, definitely possible, but not good. Tempting target. And investigate signals, yeah. So you can investigate for the score if you want to.
That's not happening either. Okay. So in combat there, because just overwatching from back.
Could just
shooting.
push the outark into the corner to investigate, I guess.
Got a fusion gun shot into you. Miss. I'm going to. And what's your toughness?
10.
Be a failed wound then. Failed wound, and are you right if we just call it there?
Yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable.
Definitely, there's a potential if you auto convert this shot for 1 billion damage, you could put the Incarn down to kill ability from the Autark. But that is it for 2 models left. I think that's going to be the end of the game. Congratulations to Zach for taking this one down. Lord Solar certainly made a show of it, but it's a tough matchup.
Yes, I think you need a couple things. You need to go first, and then I need to not roll 6s on that first attack to shoot you.
If anybody has any questions for the players, go ahead and throw them in chat.
I needed 2 turns of shooting out of my Titan, basically.
Yeah, I think so. You need me to do I don't know, bring him down to 15 or so wounds, and then he gets to shoot again and Overwatch again, and then you're in a better place.
It doesn't even matter 15. I literally wound, and then I keep him still to avoid Overwatch.
Yeah, I don't know that there's any amount of gameplay or a list that's going to come back from losing 1,100 points in a turn. It's just too much.
Against Eldar.
Definitely
Definitely work against other factions.
Although I will accept the Eldar broken argument from many people, but not from a fellow Eldar man.
Yeah. What I mean is Eldar's busted enough that you can come back with 900 against other stuff, but not when you're facing
That's true.
Equal.
You got a lot of funky mechanics you can use to do some stuff and steal home objectives and blank shots by Phantasm and good stuff.
And then Eldar are also the best at countering all those mechanics.
Funny how that works.
Yeah, it's funny.
Oh, I have a question for you. When you were redoing your list, you were just like, oh, I like my list. I think it's fine to do the same thing. Or were you considering actually jumping over to like GSC or something?
Big boy had to go all the way.
Yeah, he's fun.
Yeah, you're committed at that point, so you might as well, just lock it in.
Yeah. For the memes alone.
Yeah. Yeah, we did have a question about that in chat, so that answers that. Steve had to it was written into his contract. He was locked in. He couldn't leave.
Yeah. I mean, you're paying him for a full season. You gotta get the most out of it.
You gotta get your money's worth out of that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you first.
I was just thinking about whether I should dramatically change my list, and I was like, I'll just do the slightly more updated version of what I already have because I think it's fun. But I was curious if there were mind games going on somewhere else.
Yeah, do you feel that there is a list that could be like sort of rotated into that's reasonable against the Wraithknight build?
Yeah, it's GSC, I think.
Even post the cult ambush changes.
Yeah, I mean, maybe this is an unpopular opinion, but I think the cult ambush changes don't change much, frankly, because like stringing really far from the blips was never really the problem in my mind. It's dropping down and then going back into reserve and then dropping down again. That's how they get in your face. And then it depends on I don't know what we ruled. Did we rule that they get their demo packs back?
Well, that's just the rule now.
All right. Well, in that case, the changes are a buff, in my opinion. It's strictly better.
Interesting.
Because like they can't string onto objectives, which was the only real use I think for that was really impactful. But they can run demo packs, which are amazing. So I think it's strictly actually an advantage for them if they get the demo packs back.
But if they can't string the demo packs, then it's harder to deliver them on the respawn.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Like it's very difficult.
I think what it lets you do is run like 1 or 2 demo pack squads and then know that you're always going to get them back. So I think you actually run 2 so you can cycle them. So every turn after turn 1, you're going to hit with a demo pack squad, always. And then all the rest of your points can be spent on like 6 20-mans that just kill everything. And this list is designed to be able to try and deal with it and have a game into it. But I do think that's probably the best list into this. I think it has a higher than 50% win rate into Eldar, into this Eldar.
Yeah, and they just they just like rinse everything that's not the Wraithknight, and the Wraithknight probably can't kill enough for it to matter.
Yes, the Wraithknight will do really well because he'll have all the buffs and like he'll use Phantasm in order to not get hit with the demo packs, and then he'll Overwatch 1 squad off the table when it arrives because of Guide.
Yeah, but
it can't kill whatever 6 times, right? It can kill 120 like of the 20-mans plus the 2 10-mans. It's too much for it.
Yeah.
Picks up 1 squad a turn, right? Picks up 6 total squads, or 5 total squads, sorry.
Right.
Yeah. And then you use your deep strike to like blow up everything that's doing a mission, and then he can kill everything he wants, but you can't score points.
Right.
That's my opinion. Right?
Yeah.
Kill a Night Spinner, you know.
Drew is asking, now that Phantasm has been used against you, what are your thoughts on it?
I don't think that anyone, including myself, can reasonably say it's not the best stratagem in the game. I think it'd be a shame to just whole cloth kill it because it's a cool idea, but it can't be what it is right now. And making it 2 CP would be more balanced, but it would still be the best stratagem in the game. I don't think it would be close. So it's hard to know what to do with it. I think I've heard like outside of 9 inches, it can't be triggered. So if you step within 9, you can do it. That I think is more reasonable. So I think that's probably what I'd say. I think you say only when a unit walks within 9 inches can it be triggered. But I'm not convinced UW is going to do that.
Right.
So
I know some people want it to be once per game only. What do you think about that?
That's not bad. I think that would make it much more balanced, but it's just less, I think, interesting from a gameplay perspective.
Right.
I think more into anywhere approaching sensible. Even if it's just within 9 inches, just a tool that can down melee armies.
That's true. It will still just crush the hopes of any melee army. That's a good point.
Yeah.
It's really tough to balance around.
It's just not. It's like reactive movement after your opponent's strong.
You could also make it much smaller. Like I think a 3-inch move would be a lot more interesting because you still get to do the fun mechanics and draw line of sight and stuff, but you can't just whole cloth use it to turn off a charge or like move faster. Like the avatar can like move faster than a jet bike because Phantasm's pretty good.
Infantry only is probably a better change if you want to keep it.
Yeah, infantry only I think would be interesting.
Only probably makes it vaguely approaching the level of other good stratagems.
Yeah, it would make it really good for like screening units, I guess, specifically. But then you'd be kind of locked into the one use case. It is kind of weird to have like a 3-story tall robot like be like, oh no, I was behind this building the whole time.
Yeah,
that was
at the very least Titanic. It shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
Like towering is, I don't know.
Yeah.
They probably should have carved it out so that most of the like Fortune also shouldn't go on a Wraithknight.
I like
that said, it's a really cool model. So
it is a cool model. They do look nice on the table for sure.
I've been painting mine up. It's getting better and better.
Hell yeah. So how
the queues?
Zach, out of your two opponents, you're looking down the barrel of Custodes or Necrons. How are you feeling about those potential matchups for the finals?
I think Necrons are actually one of the very few factions that has a solid game into Eldar. I think that a good Necron list can actually do very well even into this list just because it doesn't die with Wraithknight. Like a Lichguard brick doesn't die with it. If you math out every single model in this army shooting a Lichguard brick, you have about a coin flip chance to kill it.
Yep.
And that opens up interesting gameplay possibilities. So I do not want to play against Necrons, but I have less experience against Custodes. The resistance to mortals is very good, but ultimately I think like if you have models that cost 50+ points,
right,
it's tough when they die, and some of them will certainly die.
Yeah, it just makes it just means that they just get their end ball against devastating wounds. That's the only difference, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, but you still get spillover damage, and so it's still probably better for you.
Yeah, the Night Spinners in this list are a direct response to Necrons and Custodes, because the best response being, I think, just to make sure they don't walk to you.
Yep.
But so fingers crossed for Custodes. I do think Custodes have a better matchup into Necrons, so I'm hoping that they'll pull it out just because they are tanky enough that the Necrons can't always kill them, and then they can just stand on the point and out OC Lichguard, which is like the whole game plan for that list, for that Necron list.
Right.
So I think that they have probably a 60-40 odds of winning, and then I'm banking on that, and then we just roll to go first, slow down the two big Custode bricks, and the game's over from there.
There you go. Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. That's the plan. We'll see how it turns out, Brett.
Yeah, you haven't seen Salad's charge rolls though. That's the. It's going to be like -2 movement. That's okay. Here's a boxcars for you.
Yes.
And then that unit rocks across the table.
Nothing gives me gray hairs more than like, oh, this is probably going to fail an 11-inch charge, but sometimes it doesn't. I think I played the semifinals of the Alpha League, I think either 1 or 2 seasons ago with Dark Angels. And it was like Hail of Doom 9th edition versus Dark Angels, 2 giant Terminator bricks. And they walk up the table, and we're like, okay, like we're doing all these careful things, we're measuring carefully, like they need to make an 11-inch charge to make this. Blam, does. Like, okay, well, that's a problem, but all right, we'll go behind them and like, deal with their homes up. They can't go backwards. Like, okay, they'll charge backwards into me. Another 10-inch charge, strings out to form a giant string to cross the entirety of the map.
Yeah.
And it was like brutal. And then I won't go into the whole story. The short answer is there were 4 10+ inch charges that just made these things like 20-inch speed Terminators, which was horrible.
Yeah, I've had that experience. It's crazy too because it really like showcases how weird the charge mechanic is in 40k. Where like this slow unit that's like entirely identified by the fact that it's like a slow tank.
It's
that
slow,
just like actually quadruples in movement as soon as it like rolls a high charge.
Yes, it's so
they're
funny.
moving and they're piling and then they're consolidating and so like they get 4 or 5 movement phases in a row. Like, oh
yes, it brings me back to like the very beginning of 9th edition. I played like it was still the 8th edition Codex of Harlequins, and Death Guard was everywhere because they had just come out and they were actually pretty good at that point because they were one of the people with codexes.
Right.
But the first thing I learned was just never for any condition walk within 12 inches of a Death Guard model. It's never worth it. You're giving them 3x movement if they like just randomly roll the
charge. Yeah, that Death Guard player doesn't give a shit. He's gonna roll those 2 dice.
Yeah. Either kill them or don't walk anywhere close.
Yeah, he's like, "What are you gonna do? Overwatch me? Get the fuck out of here! I'm charged."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Well, Zach, congratulations on taking it down. Thank you guys for the game. And I'll go ahead and let you guys go. But Zach, I'm looking forward to see this big Wraithknight in the finals. See what he can do.
Let's do it. Let's crush some dreams.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good one. Thanks for playing. I had a great game.
All right, chat. That's it for us today. Congratulations to Zach for taking that one down. Big shout out to our sponsors at the end here. It was a good one for Lord Solar as well. He definitely made a play of it. He was winning on points up until the bottom of about round 3, basically, until when the stuff started dying. I think if he got a little bit lucky there on some charges, he could have potentially made a pretty tight game of it for sure. But needed to, after the Revenant Titan went down, it's really needing to like push for the super duper high numbers. Delta Studios, you can use coupon code Tactical10 for 10% off over there to get some replica props and weapons and things like that for Warhammer 40k, which is cool. Gamemat.eu, use coupon code TT10 over there, you get 10% off mats and resin terrain. They also have a lot of other sweet accessories, so check them out at Gamemat.eu. The Magnet Baron, you can find at themagnetbaron.com. They make all sorts of magnetized accessories and magnetization kits for Warhammer 40k model kits. And 3D6 Wargaming, last but certainly not least, where you can get all sorts of laser cut accessories. Like they have counters and tokens, as well as nice neoprene objective mats, which are very, very cool. Thanks everyone for coming and hanging out with me today. Please, I think I'm gonna be live over on the Purple channel after this. I need a nap though. I've been awake for the last 48 hours, so I'm like slowly dying, and so I'm gonna go take a break, and then I think I'm gonna try to get a practice game in. We'll play some Space Marines, I think. So if you're into that, come hang out with me in 1 or 2 hours over on the twitch.tv/TacticalTortoise. We'll play a couple games and go from there. So thanks everyone for hanging out with me. Also, I uploaded a video if you haven't seen it. That went up this morning. It was kind of an adventure to get it up because I kept having to re-upload it for various reasons, but it's finally up. It's a Tyranid tier list. I go through every single unit in the Tyranid index, and I think it's a pretty good one. So go check that one out, and I'll see you around. Thanks everybody.